Welcome to the July 1st. Can you believe that? July the 1st, 2026. Entry the Multifamily Operations Daily Huddle, what absentee ownership really costs. And the lead-in goes like this. The asset you have not walked in 3 years is being managed to the lowest standard your team thinks you will accept. That is so true. Stop and think about that for a second. Ownership without presence is slow deterioration. Here is the mechanism. The asset you don't visit does not hold a high standard in your absence. It just doesn't. It's human nature. It calibrates downward. It settles to the standard your on-site leadership believes you would accept, and that bar always sits lower than the one you think you set. The owner has the highest standard in any organization, and if the owner is absent, then it becomes second tier. No one has the same skin in the game that the owner has, that the founder has. Picture the property where your owner has not walked the asset in 3 years. The deferred maintenance list has grown to 40 items. Nobody hit it. The team simply stopped escalating because nothing ever happened when they did. Now name the real cost. The deferred maintenance hurts. The cultural drift hurts. The more serious damage is the signal that the absence of a signal sends to the management team. Their performance is not being watched closely enough to carry consequences. The signal travels fast. The implied point here is that people like to be held accountable. People like to know that there is a higher standard out there that they need to achieve, that they need to strive for. People really enjoy that. They may rail against it and complain about it from time to time, but they really do want to be stretched. They want to be grown. So the fix is presence. Owners who want high-performing assets show up often enough to communicate something specific. Their physical attention and their informed questions, they make it, or through them, they make it clear the performance at the property level is visible, valuable, and consequential. Visible because you saw it, valued because you asked about it, and consequential because the owner or the answer matters. Run the example to its end. 3 years without a walk, 40 items on the deferred list. The property management team has stopped raising the flag. Ownership was surprised. The property was not. The property had been telling the truth the entire time. Show up before the surprise does. So here's your prompt today. Here's what you need to discuss. How long has it been since ownership walked the most current concerning asset? And what has changed operationally then that they do not know about? Now, my encouragement to you, if you really want to show your ownership, that is your personal ownership for the asset, invite your owners out. Encourage them. Beg them to come out and see the property. Call to action is put a walk on the calendar, invite those senior leadership team members to include the owner of the property, the asset managers for the property. Most concerning asset, put a walk on the calendar for your most concerning asset this month and bring the informed questions that prove you're paying attention. Subscribe to your own internal methodologies for keeping those things front and center that you know need to be addressed, but that you can't necessarily make the decisions for. So encourage your owners to come out, encourage your asset managers to come out, but make sure that you go through a list of metrics that are important for the operations of the property, but then all the things that are impacting those metrics. In other words, hindering your ability to accomplish the things that need to be accomplished so that you can run that asset in the best way possible, the most optimal way possible. That's it. We'll see you again here tomorrow.